job market and tech evolves so quickly that even if today we sat down and created a curriculum and gave it to the college, within 1 year it would be outdated. You do sales because you failed at marketing, and you do marketing because you failed at product.
So Goa is known for its tourism and nightlife, but today we have someone who's influencing Goa's tech ecosystem. We have Shawn Kenneth Fernandes, who is an entrepreneur and a TEDx speaker. So Shawn, how are you?
All good, all good. Looking forward to this amazing
So
day.
tell us about yourself. Tell us about your journey, how it started.
Sure. So, my name is Shawn Kenneth Fernandes. I am the founder and CEO of Fluxatic Global and BridgeAura Tech Summit. I'm also on the board of advisors of TEDx Punji and a member of Goa Technology Association. To talk about how things started off at a very young age, this has been covered quite a few times in publications. I started my first business at the age of 13. And now, if I look back at what it was, of course, it was, a kid doing some fun work. But entrepreneurship has always been around me at the back of my mind. That never felt like something different. It felt like, your nature. So, as far as the journey goes, I've honestly just been doing whatever I love to do at every single point, and somehow today here we are.
So you used to make videos, you used to make music videos. So from music, you came to entrepreneurship, like to tech entrepreneurship. Tell us the switch about.
So I think it's a very interesting story. My mom is an amazing singer, an amazing musician, and somehow in Goa, you are always surrounded with music. So thinking about music as a career choice, of course, I did go to engineering and I was always focused on science and everything. But music, the feeling of being on stage, the feeling of performing and seeing everyone there respond to your energy was amazing. It was addictive. But when I gave music a shot, a very fair shot, it was always a hobby, it still is a hobby. I've realized that music for me is so personal that I wanted to preserve the art of it. And which is why, after giving it a shot, after having 2 or 3 bands and doing a few music videos and releasing an album, I realized that I want to protect this art, and I have a very strict no transactions policy with music.
Okay.
I will even go if someone wants me to help out with something, saying I do not care about being paid. I will go there if I enjoy it, and anything more than that. But with business, you need to understand that if you're going to be successful at something, in whatever version of success people have, you need to not only enjoy what you do, but also be willing to do that for someone else. Because with business, it's all about establishing value and helping people. And when that's there, you can't be artistic about it. And do I love my work? Absolutely. That's why I do what I do. But the reason why this exists and music was not a career choice is because tech, art, creativity, that is something I was able to be good at and like, and also do for other people, which is very important when it comes to business.
So you spoke about business. Tell us about your business. What services you all provide?
Sure. So Fluxatic Global is an IT solutions provider. We use the term digital solutions because with tech, it's always very complex and difficult to explain. But I think we're doing a decent job on that. So Fluxatic currently has 4 verticals. We have AI and automations. We have app and web development. We have branding and UI UX. And we also have end-to-end e-commerce. What is the point of all of this? We help businesses grow. A business comes to us. We use tech and creativity to solve a problem they're having. And once we solve the problem that they're having, we are then able to help them grow. A product brand comes to us, they can go online and triple their revenue because they've now opened different channels of sales. And this applies to all of them. And Fluxatic has always been ROI driven. ROI is a very important term for me because after trying to explain, when a little younger, when I started the first company at 25, when a little younger, you have to keep explaining to people that this is what can happen. But after you just say one simple thing, you can 3x your revenue. That just ticks and just works better. So Fluxatic IT solutions. Now BridgeAura is actually a very fun, interesting concept where BridgeAura is now an academy and summits brand We train students, we upskill students. We've upskilled almost 700 plus students in the state so far, and we had almost 240 students last year. This year's edition has 500 students. It actually evolved from our internship program at Fluxatic, where we kept training our interns, and the demand reached such a point where we knew we had to branch it off as an academy. And like last year was a beautiful moment for us. We kind of made it in a way, but we also have a responsibility to keep building. So Fluxatic and BridgeAura, these two companies are where I spend most of my time.
So tell me, what are your revenues and how much is the profit margins in percentages in this Fluxatic?
Yes. So one cool thing to talk about in tech, which I think not too many other fields have, is huge profit margins. So across the board, now revenue, goes up and down and everything. We are always evolving. We're still a startup, but profit margins are somewhere between 50 to 70%.
Okay.
Now this is after you consider everything. After you take a project and you assume that, okay, the project, and then maybe you need one developer, you need one designer, you need some software, you need some subscription to something. So across the board, we look at somewhere and we get somewhere around 50 to 70%. Although, when there is a good project, I will sacrifice the profit on that if we are able to put in more resources and get a better job done, But over the board, like 50% is something where we kind of rely on.
So 50% is net profit after all the expenses.
Yes, net profit after taxes. But as you know, a business will only grow if you keep reinvesting your profits back. So truth be told, if you look at it that way, and then, I don't know how much we have at the end of the year, but that is also building a brand. That is investing in the brand, investing in, for example, BridgeAura to this point has been a not-for-profit. Okay, we've spent a lot of money on it, but you need to do that initially. Amazon was not revenue or not profit generating for almost 15 or so years, as far as I can remember, and they just started turning profits a few years ago. When you play the big game, we pay attention more to the brand that you're building. But in general, I think tech has always given us the space, which is also why we took a bit of a shift from the creative space to the tech space somewhere around 2-3 years ago, because profit margins are insane.
So you spoke that you deal with international clients, metro clients, and Goan clients. Tell us what are the percentages? How much is international clients? How much is the metro city client? And how much is Goan clients?
Yeah. So at the moment in 2026, I would say accurately, our international clientele would be around 60% of what we do. International, okay. 60 to 70. This is predominantly European Union, US, and UK. We do have 16 or 17 countries as of now that we have had clients in, but the majority have been in the European Union, US, and UK, and also very good clients to work with, very fun projects. The rest of it, I would say Goa is around 10%.
Okay.
And truth be told, it's very intentional. Because being a Goan, my intention is to build Goa, not to take money and be paid from other Goans.
Okay.
If we come together and we create an ecosystem, I'm a tech founder, we have a tech company right now, but if there's a creative agency, us coming together and charging a client is worth more to me than trying to get money from here. So then what happens is Goa ends up being more of partnerships, collaborations. TEDx, I'm on the board of advisors. We have a close association with the IT department. And the rest, which is around 20%, would be Bombay, Delhi, Hyderabad, Bangalore, and the rest of India.
So how do you approach international clients? Like, what are the secrets of approaching international clients? Because you said like 60% of your clientele base is international. How do you get them?
I have a very simple answer. It sounds too simple. Do good work.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what I mean by this. 70% of our business is referral based. Because we don't run ads. We don't do specific lead generation. Now, as the company has been scaling, company has been growing, there is a need to do more intentional lead generation to get business in. But many years ago, I can't remember which one of my bosses told me this. There's this phrase, okay? You do sales because you failed at marketing.
Okay.
And you do marketing because you failed at product.
Okay.
Think about it. If I had to ask you right now, what is a biscuit brand that you would recommend?
Oreo.
Oreo. Why Oreo?
I taste better.
Yeah. The very fact that is something you are telling me.
Mm-hmm.
You can't buy that.
Okay.
The product is a good product. You enjoy it. And
Mm-hmm.
when I ask you, you tell me.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same logic when it comes to business. You do good work.
Okay.
People will say, hey, Fluxatic did our website or Fluxatic did our digital infrastructure. When someone else comes in, like, hey, do you know anyone? That is, if people crack that, that is all you need.
Okay.
So many businesses do not do marketing. When have you ever seen a Rolls-Royce ad on Instagram?
Never.
Never. It's not because they don't this, but it's also because the target audience and everything. But some brands don't need to market themselves because the product is so good and so essential and so useful that you don't think twice. So the hack to getting international clients is do good work, but also see in your network. A lot of people don't understand that you actually most of the time have a lot of connects just around you. If you put your mind to it, you would very easily be able to understand that I know someone and this person knows someone in the UK, and this person who's in the UK will then be able to reach out to someone. If you do that routing through and understand the power of your network, that is also another hack. And the last, of course, while I don't encourage it for startups, is you invest in ads, you invest in marketing. I think Fluxatic, BridgeAura, and me personally, we do a lot of organic content. People see it. Do collaborations. Organic is also quite effective because when you do something organically and when people discover it versus an ad, they're more likely to trust you and more likely to actually get in touch with you.
So you even spoke about BridgeAura, wherein you mentor a lot of students. You mentor a lot of engineering students. So what was your motivation behind starting BridgeAura?
The motivation behind starting BridgeAura is when I was in GC, Goa College of Engineering, I did not have a good fun internship. I was looking forward to it. And because I am a person who has always valued results, outcome, capability, skills, and that's my upbringing. Now, I have a lot of comments on our education system, but I have a comment on the system, not the people who are running the system. It's very difficult to change systems. So when I was in college, everyone knows this. I went to GC with quite state like the top 100 or whatever. But once I entered college, I realized that, this format doesn't really work for me personally. But I was looking forward to my internship because I was told that that is the one opportunity you get to have real work experience. And I will not name anyone, but unfortunately, the experience didn't match up. Now, the thing is, I am lucky that I have so many amazing people mentoring, teaching, and that didn't affect me as much. But once you grow up, once you graduate, you don't have as much time. My intention with BridgeAura was reaching students and upskilling them at a time when they can actually do it, when they have the mental capacity to absorb what we're teaching. Very impressionable time. If you approach them and teach them and guide them and upskill them at that age, it is an unfair advantage compared to everyone else. It started with that personal thing, but somehow it took a life of its own, and here we are with BridgeAura.
So how can an engineering student watching this video will be benefited from BridgeAura? Like how can they approach you? How can they get connected to you?
So first of all, I would love to mentor everyone one-on-one, but because of time and space and everything constraints, that doesn't happen. So BridgeAura it's just not me. It is a lot of our mentors, a lot of teachers, partners, educational partners who come in and teach, mentor, and also help them finish a project. Now, BridgeAura has a flagship event or a tech cohort which happens every year, and this will be happening this year around August 4th. Engineering students can apply. Engineering students can be a part of it. You just join. It's a first come, first serve basis, and we are only committed to teaching. There's no requirements, nothing. Anyone can apply. From these 2 months, put in as much time as possible. It's a hybrid online and offline. And that's this edition.
So this is for engineering students or
this
across?
is open to everyone.
Okay.
And eventually the plan with BridgeAura is going to be to take it and be very broad, which is not just engineering, but management, art. The only reason it's lined up with engineering right now is my personal affiliation with the engineering colleges, because this whole thing only happens with everyone working together. We have opened it up to BCA, MCA, we've opened it up to all sorts of sciences. The tech edition does need a base of tech knowledge, which anyone with a BCA or MCA or BSc in IT comp is able to this. But everyone else right now, maybe this cohort may not be the most appropriate one, but if you do have a technical base, they're still able to be a part of it.
So we spoke about tech, we spoke about engineering. So tell us, what's the future of IT in Goa?
The future of IT in Goa that I see is, first of all, Goa has been making amazing strides when it comes to the startup ecosystem. Just the other day, I saw an update of 800 plus startups operating out of Goa. And the thing is, Goa also has a work-life balance where you can be as focused and as hectic as possible, but when you need to take a breath, you can. So the way I look at it is Goa is already an IT hub and is becoming a global IT hub and definitely a startup destination. But we don't want, I'm saying this very intentionally, we don't want Goa to be a Bombay or a Bangalore.
Okay.
We want Goa to have an IT ecosystem while also maintaining what Goa is, which is work-life balance, the love of living your day. That's what I see. Crazy business coming out of Goa, one of the top leaders in the world, while also somehow it will be a place that you can also chill at the end of the day.
So do you think there will be more potential opportunities in Goa for IT students?
There already is. And one of the intentions with BridgeAura is also that students are not aware that there are companies in Goa with hundreds and even thousands of employees.
Okay.
The seats, the positions are vacant. And this is actually the second problem that BridgeAura is solving, which is industry needs talented, capable workforce. And because of the gap, the students who graduate, unfortunately, are not ready to work. So then what happens is startups like me, companies, we have to invest a year of training before they can actually be able to contribute on projects. Now, the thing is, if you assume that they're going to be there, you're lucky, because nowadays, more than anything, attrition is very high. So students will work, train, and then they might want to do their masters, they might want to work somewhere else, which is fair. Everyone has the right to do whatever they want to do, but there are amazing companies in Goa and the potential to build from here. Building with your support structure, your friends, is always more powerful than trying to go to some other place and just randomly start building up. I think that Goa is primed and there's a lot of scope. The only reason why the attitude of there being no scope here is because the first step is you leave immediately. There's so many companies, so many amazing places here to work at, and I think students need to be aware of this.
So tell us about the impact of AI on the current job market.
Putting it bluntly, AI has destroyed the job market.
Okay.
It has completely destroyed the job market.
Okay.
But why is that? AI is not a hugely different movement from any of the other movements or the revolutions that have happened in the world. In India, across the world, we have the Industrial Revolution, we have the Green Revolution. All these revolutions did, and the dot-com revolution, all these revolutions, they did the same thing. They took off the unnecessary work.
Okay.
You have an engineer who is trained, sitting there and doing data entry. That doesn't do justice to that person. The reason why it has completely destroyed the job market is because there has to be an attitude shift. The job market will come back. The AI tools that we have eliminated the grunt work, the unnecessary work. And it's very sad to acknowledge that this attitude of I will go to do a job and I will do the bare minimum. Those are the ones who have gotten affected. Okay. Not the people who have been doing intentional great work.
So people at the top, like the best students in the batch will get...
Yeah, it's not even best students. What is a good student? That also is up for debate, because by every metric, I was the worst student in college. By every metric that a student is gauged on, I wasn't answering papers well, I wasn't showing up to class. Again, it was because I didn't enjoy it. But very funnily, ironically, right now, I keep going back to those colleges to give, entrepreneurship advice or goals, because There is no good or bad student. It's just whether the student has the right guidance and vision.
Okay.
If students understand that you have to be useful, not show up for 8 hours a day, that one reframe changes everything. And then there's no problem in the job market. Because someone who knows this will not cry and complain about the fact that AI has taken away the job. They'll understand that this tool will help me do these things 10 times faster. Now my brain is actually free to do more important thinking so that the execution gets done. Like, see, there's something called dignity of labor, and I'm a huge fan of dignity of labor. People doing work have to be respected. But whether all those things need to be done in the first place is what people need to think about. Like, if you're building a house, you'll pay a builder. The builder is not the person lifting the bricks. Not because they shouldn't be lifting the bricks, but because they are more useful leading a team who will place those bricks there. Now, do we need people to place the bricks? Absolutely. We need all levels of everything, which is why I said dignity of labor. But understanding that these tools and the AI revolution has done nothing other than eliminate the boring work. Now we can have fun. And as soon as people realize this, the job market is going to be absolutely back to normal.
So is engineering degree still relevant? Because recently I've seen a lot of engineering seats are vacant in Goa.
Yes.
So do you still think engineering degree is relevant?
See, we need to understand what a degree was and what it is now. When colleges and when these professional courses were first launched and when it became a thing, the degree was proof that you knew what you were doing. When you have a doctorate, you are an expert. When you have a graduate degree, you are known to know that much. But the job market and tech evolves so quickly that even if today we sat down and created a curriculum and gave it to the college and they did it, within 1 year it would be outdated. Now, is a degree important? Maybe not. Is going to college important? Absolutely. And I'll tell you why. Learning how to work with people, learning how to work with deadlines. We have GC, Goa College of Engineering, where I went. I am not sure about the reputation right now, but one reputation that everyone knew is that things are very intense there.
Okay.
Very intense, lot of work. Now, back in when I was in college, I didn't think that this was useful. But when I graduated, we learned how to deal with high pressure environments in college. I was more equipped to deal with them after I started my first company. And you get network. When I tell people I'm from X college, they will have either they are there or they have someone. It creates a connect.
Okay.
The networking, the soft skills that you get in college, you cannot get. So do I encourage going to college and being in some place like that? Absolutely. Is a degree important? Flat answer, no. Okay. But a degree is also, for many people, at a very top level, how you get hired. When we are trying to hire thousands and thousands of people, think about it. If you get 2 resumes in front of you, now this person is an ace developer, okay? And this person does not have a degree. And this person has a degree. This person may be a 10 times better employee than this person. But you have to invest the time to figure out whether they are. But this is a better qualifier. Now, this doesn't become a problem if you have 2 people. It has a problem when you have 20,000 people. That's when degrees have. So if you're the kind of person who's taking the first step, the degree is a very important thing. But do not forget that your skills on top of that matter much more.
So what are the skills a student must master before, like during the course of his degree to be employable?
First of all, you need to have the very base of getting work done, which is how to use docs, how to use simple office tools. Not even a doubt. I think after you have the base of figuring out that these are the basic things, how to use a computer well, how to take notes, how to speak, then you look at your subject matter. If you're going to be a developer, what are the skills you need? And then make sure that you get those skills to a degree that you add value. Now, this may sound a bit abstract, but what do I mean by value? When we hire, we don't even look at degrees. I could not care less.
Okay.
What I care about is, I have a project. This project, can this person do it? That's it. Can this person do what we are doing for our clients? Because, as I said, we spoke about ROI, right? Clients do not care about what you can do. They don't care about the fancy tech that you're using. They don't care about your degree. They care about one simple thing. If I put in X amount of money, will this solve my problem? I like to encourage students detaching from programming languages, from laptops, which laptop, which phone. These are not the important questions. The important question is, how are you using that? You can have the most amazing, most expensive laptop in the world, but if someone can do a better product, create something better on something that's 1/10 the price, that is more valuable.
Okay.
It's all about how can you add value and how can you consistently add value. And as the world evolves, how do you also see what you need to keep doing? You have to always upskill. You can't get comfortable in one tool, one programming language. You have to see what is there today. So I would say the biggest skill on top of all of this is the ability to learn quickly.
Okay.
There's this quote by Kunal Shah, which is, you need to set up your systems that you can learn something within 24 hours, something new. That's how fast the world is moving. You need to learn how to learn.
Okay.
That is the most important skill.
So you hire a lot of people, you work with a lot of people. So what are the red flags and green flags you see before hiring a person or before working with a person?
So the way that I work is the way that Fluxatic has evolved into working. So I value communication.
Okay.
Communication and sales is the first most important skill. Now, the thing is, it's not everyone's personality type. Designers, developers, these roles are traditionally more introverted, so to say. So, you need to actually leave these guys completely alone, and that's when they do the best job.
Okay.
But when it comes to me, communication matters a lot, enough so that I know that when I hand over a task, that they understand what it is. And then, secondary, after that, is the capability in, whatever they're doing. Now, what is a green flag? Experience.
Okay.
Project experience. Doing things, building products. And in college these days, it's actually more easier than ever. We have BridgeAura, we have companies all around. There's no shortage of opportunity. But a green flag is, this person has worked on real projects, deployed projects, done this tech, done this design. There is tangible proof that they've done it. Now, what is a red flag? Coming to an interview and acting like a robot.
Okay.
I purposely started this whole podcast with me saying, my name is Shawn Kenneth Fernandes, because I was introducing myself. You did say, hi, Shawn. But how many times when you're sitting, I have your resume in front of me, tell me about yourself. Okay, it's like, hi, I'm Shawn Fernandes. Hi, I'm XYZ. Then they start with, okay, tell me about yourself. Yeah, my name is again, that is robotic. You've already introduced yourself. When it sounds like a script rather than a conversation, that's a huge red flag for me. Because if they're going to be approaching the interview as a templatized, effort, they will also be approaching all of our work with a templatized effort.
Okay.
And when you're innovating, when you're creating value, there's no space for this. So red flag is definitely when there's a robotic energy to the interview. And red flag is when something is promised but doesn't happen.
Okay.
You can talk. People can talk. I can talk about what we are, what we do. People can say anything. What you do matters more. So when we do tests, if someone will say, yeah, I can do it, I can this and that. The only way to prove it is we give you a test assignment, you finish it. That's all that matters to us. And that is when we realize that there is a gap between what they're saying and what they're actually able to do. That's the second red flag. But in terms of green flag, working on being authentically yourself, because that is more relatable. And being good at what you do. If you're applying for a developer job, you just be a good developer. It's not that complex. People think that some things matter more than others. The only thing that matters is how useful you are in business to someone. Your only thing that matters is how skilled you are. And that's it.
So you spoke a lot about communication. So tell me, how can a person improve his communication? Because you as an engineer have a very good communication skills, but a lot of people don't have good communication skills, especially students like us. So how can a person improve their communication for professional life? Okay.
So I want to start this off with a very fun moment that happened 2 years ago with BridgeAura. I have this thing, which is I understand the importance of communication. So the best way to learn is by doing.
Okay.
There is this, I can't remember which book I read it in, but I give this example to a lot of people, which is the first step to learning something is reading about it.
Mm-hmm.
What is faster than reading is reading and then doing and practicing. But the fastest way is to just throw yourself into it and figure it out. We are talking about the fastest way. With communications, that's what I do. So the story I was going to tell you is 2 years ago. So we have this format with BridgeAura every year, which is everyone, once you form your groups, everyone gets the mic and is on stage for even 10 seconds and has to speak. I got a message at the end of, I think 2 years ago, the edition that we had. Someone texted me. Now there's a rule that is very popular within the company and everyone else, which is do not text me personally.
Okay.
It's not because I don't want to be texted. It's because I will not respond to you because I'm busy.
Okay.
It's better to text, the senior project manager or your immediate manager. But there's one student sent me a message after the whole thing was done. And he said, "Sir, I know that you said not to text, but I just wanted to let you know something. For the first time in my life, I was on stage. I was always scared of speaking in front of people. You made us go on stage. And I realized that I can actually speak on stage."
Okay.
Can you imagine? This student thought that they could not just because they hadn't. That's my encouragement, which is with communication skills. The best way is to just do it.
Okay.
Feel uncomfortable, feel scared. People will judge you. People are scared. Okay. People are scared of how they sound, whether they mispronounce words, whether they sound weird with an accent. No one cares.
Okay.
Communication is getting the message across. So if you want to get the message across, you just go and do it. You don't know how to speak to someone, force yourself to go and speak to someone. If you are a kind of person who doesn't know how to introduce themselves, practice in front of the mirror if you want to. Just go and meet someone. Because when you do it, you will realize that, oh, I can do it better. And you will keep getting better. It doesn't happen in one go. It happens over, time.
So this is an ever-changing world. A lot of companies come, a lot of companies go, a lot of businesses grow and they come down. So how can a company stay relevant for a long period of time?
So I said something earlier, which is you need to learn how to learn. The only way a company or a startup will survive and evolves is by being agile and pivoting when needed. See, we have our motivations of doing what we want to do. I'll give you an example of how this happened with us. The first iteration of this company was called Creative Jewel, which is the company I started when I was around 25. Now that was a fun place. It was a younger energy. It was me working with my peers. We did crazy work, but that was more of a tech and creative agency. When I started working and when I started actually building the business, I realized that some of these projects and this space isn't panning out the way I thought it would. Now, there were two options there. Either hold on to all of the things that you have done just because you have done them, or just throw it all away and do what is needed as the next step. So when we evolved, we had actually evolved Creative Jewel into a tech company, and we were about to debut it in its new avatar and its new form. And that's when I realized that the only thing that we haven't changed is the name.
Okay.
And that's why we changed from Creative Jewel to Fluxatic, because this represents the current age more than anything. When companies need to survive, you need to take decisions quickly. This is not working out, throw it away, work on improving your processes. This is becoming a problem, get rid of the problem. A lot of companies only tank because the founders do not want to shift, because they think that, oh, If I shift, people will think I failed at that. No one cares. No one cares about what you do in life. Truly, as a 30-year-old running two companies, I can tell you no one cares unless they are very close and it actually makes a difference to them. You do not need to worry about what people think. You just need to do what's needed and take decisions, and that's the only way that companies will sustain.
So now we spoke about how companies can stay relevant. Tell me, how can a graduate stay relevant in this ever-changing world? Like, give me a different type of answer.
Yeah. I think when we talk about relevance in the job industry, we forget that even in the job world, there is still you as a personal brand. Experience, I think for the first 3 to 4 years of anyone's job or anyone's career, you are not supposed to make money. You are supposed to just gain experience. Get as many projects under your belt as possible. Stay relevant by making sure that you are visible everywhere, because that will give you job opportunities much better than randomly sending your CVs. Even when we hire people, sure, we get a lot of CVs every day, but the people we actually end up hiring are people who we know have been doing a great job, and now they're looking for something and be like, hey, why don't you try working with us? Even with students who are graduating and graduates, building your capability first as your base. Company is important. You work for the company if you choose to, but you also understand, and I don't know how this will sound being a business owner, but you also need to understand that the company is getting company's work done.
Okay.
And you will only be as useful as what you can contribute to the company. The second you stop being useful, you don't have a place anymore. But what you do have is what you have built as your own skill set and your own name and your brand. So I think staying relevant, the only way is by, again, attaching to every trend that comes by, figuring it out, learning, and then adding to your skill set at the end of the day.
So assume tomorrow you have to start something from scratch, okay? Assume tomorrow you're starting something from scratch with the same skill set, same connections, and same knowledge. What niche will you start in and why?
This is a very fun question because it forces you to reframe, I think that personally, I have interest in many different fields. I've always had interest. I love events. So I think if I did not do tech, I would probably do something in events. Or I would probably do something which is a mix of music and art somewhere. But the way that I approach it for this particular thing is, if you're starting from zero, your network, your skills are still there with you. You can apply that to anything. It's just about what's in front of you. Like, I want to build a coffee brand. These skills are still applicable to the coffee brand. So if you're asking me personally, I would probably do something in events and music. But in general, if someone should start from scratch, your base of this networking and skills should be so good that whatever opportunity is in front of you, you can turn that into a business and you can monetize. You have X number of network connections. If you need to raise funding, you have 10 people you know who will be able to contribute. You get that funding in, start a business, do viability, do all of your planning, testing, and all of that, and get off the ground. And there is a way to run a business at any price point or any cost point. You need an office to get your work done. But do you need an office to sit and do your work personally? You can even sit in a small room. You don't need big stuff. Of course, all of these things make things much easier. But if you have the bare minimum, you have your laptop, you have a notebook, and the ability to speak, you can start any business,
So you are a member of a lot of organizations like TEDx and a lot of organizations, and you have a lot of connections. How can a 21-year-old person can build connections?
I think the best and the simplest way for building connections is show up where people are. Go and talk. Ask them what they do. Introduce yourself and tell them what you do, and make sure you have a connect. That's the simplest thing. You want to go to build a network? Start from a cafe. People are always sitting over there. Hi, do you have 2 minutes?
Okay.
I'm kind of doing it. Hey, do you have 2 minutes? Yeah, I just thought I'd introduce myself. I saw you working. I was just curious about what you do. They'll tell you what they do. And then you say, okay, lovely. I do this. Okay, here's my card. Here's my business card. You can check out my work. If I have any business to give you that works for your skill set, I will definitely refer. You also show me your work. And if you have any requirements, anyone says that they need something that I do, please do refer. Small, simple thing is all I do every day.
So does that 1 minute conversation actually help a person?
Absolutely.
Like you just went to a
The
person and spoke.
ROI on that is not 4x or 10x or 20x. It is 1000x. And it's not just that. You start there. Then from there, you'll have deeper conversations. You build the relationship. And then eventually, you have this huge network of people who's sending business to each other, who's mentoring each other, who's helping out each other. That 1 minute is the most important thing for a business or even any general person. Just go introduce yourself. It costs nothing. Maybe 1 rupee for a business card.
Okay.
But even now you have your phone. You don't even need physical
online business.
I'm a huge fan of physical because what we do is so in front of screens all the time that I always want to have that business card as a thing, you know, like just this is a very personal thing.
Something tangible.
Yeah, something tangible. But 1 minute, what do you do? This hello, I am XYZ. May I know your name? What do you do? What do I do? Here's my this. Let's stay connected. That ROI, and that is all you need.
Stay connected on LinkedIn?
Anywhere.
Okay.
Phone, WhatsApp, LinkedIn. Say that, oh, do you go to this gym? Oh, I'll see you there sometime. Oh, let's like there's a football match, you know, let's go there. Or something. Stay connected. Get more and more opportunity to talk, have conversations. The reason why I'm a part of so many associations is, you know, have you ever heard of that phrase, it takes a village to raise a child? The point of that is you are molded by everything around you. I'm a part of those associations. Those associations have me. We are mutually beneficial. And getting more people and staying as connected as possible and keeping a pulse on what is happening, I feel is very important.
So is it relevant for how important is personal branding as per you? Like not business branding, like personal branding, you as Shawn.
So I have been putting a lot of intention and thought to what personal branding is over the last 3 years. And for a business owner, it is everything. In fact, I would also say that the company's branding is later and your branding is more important. Why? Because when you start, a founder is the face of the company. You are the company. Now we've reached a point where Fluxatic and BridgeAura is not Shawn Kenneth, and I'm so happy about that.
Okay.
Because I don't have to be everywhere, you know. But jokes aside, your personal brand, you are selling, you are showing your capability. People will judge you. Your personal brand is first, and it is everything. For founders, for business owners, for professionals. And as I said, also for employees, for students, because when people realize that they don't have to get you vetted or do a background check and understand whether you're good or not, but it's very obvious that you are good, that will get you hired immediately. You know, personal brand is the most important thing because brand gives you more ROI than anything else. You know, you put out an ad, you try to sell a product, your ROI will be 4-5. But you invest in building your brand, then business just keeps coming in. And that is priceless. It's again not 4-5, it's like 1,000, 10,000, you know. If you build a brand, you never have to work again. But building the brand is going to take a while.
So we spoke a lot about career. So tell us one mistake which you did, which is the worst mistake you did, and what you learned from that mistake. It shouldn't be one, but it can be more.
First of all, I have not just made one mistake, I've made many mistakes. And everyone will keep making mistakes because we are human. We don't come into this world knowing what to do. We come into this world to learn what to do. I will say in business, the mistakes I made first is not establishing boundaries. Huge problem. If clients think that they can take you for a ride, they will. They will extract as much as possible, as they should. Because the point of a business is to make money. Profit, that's it. How to draw boundaries. I am huge on respect. I do not encourage any client to act rudely in front of the team. In fact, in our agreement, there is even a clause where if you are rude, then the project is immediately terminated.
Okay.
But of course, it's not just that. It's quite detailed, like we encourage a positive working environment. Although sometimes under high stress situations, we understand that tempers and everything can flow. We do not encourage any sort of improper conduct with our employees. Any sort of, improper, harsh or rude communication will be an immediate grounds for termination of the project. Why did I do this? Because when you have that working environment, work gets done. If you have a client that's completely, abusing you all the time and being rude, you don't feel like doing the work. So these mistakes, drawing boundaries. The second thing is underestimating the concept of cash flow and how important it is.
Okay.
Cash flow is everything. When we started the first company, when I say we, I had, three people along with me. We made a lot of money as 25-year-olds in the first 3 months. Crazy, more money than we had ever seen. And we all spent it.
Okay.
Because why wouldn't you?
Okay, yeah. 25-year-old.
Yeah, like why wouldn't you want to spend all of your money? You suddenly have this, let's go to the fanciest restaurants, clubs, buy expensive stuff, clothes and all. And just because we had good 3 months, we thought that it would keep being there. Unfortunately, the 4th month was the worst month. Okay. No money came in. Probably 10% of money came in compared to the last 3 months. We still have bills to pay. Those don't stop. Cash flow is the second most important thing to me. As long as you understand and have a pulse on what is coming in, what is going out, saving for emergency situations, saving for growth. What I told you, we make money. 50-70% is a good profit margin, but that is reinvested back in the business. Okay. That is not the time to eat. Eating is later. This is the time to build. Once you can just spend without even thinking twice, that is when you should spend. So cash flow, very, very important.
Okay. So as we are about to end the podcast, if you were a 21-year-old person, if you go back to your 21-year-old self, what advice you would give to him? It could be personal, it could be professional, anything. Like what he should do, what he should focus on.
If I was to meet my 21-year-old self, I would just go to him, put my hand on his shoulder and say one simple thing. Keep going, it'll be worth it.
Okay. So
keep going, even when you think things aren't going to work out. The only thing, the point of staying in business, the point of business is not to end. It is to stay in business. Okay. The point of a marriage is not that one day your marriage will be 100% complete, done, you are successful. It is to stay married. Business and growth is constant. If you think that there is an end goal, you're going at it completely wrong. Okay. Just keep going, build, have fun along the way. These are the things I would tell them.
So I hope people learned a lot from our podcast. We spoke about engineering, we spoke about career, we spoke about life in general also. So thank you, Shawn. Nice to have a conversation with you.
Lovely. I think both of us had a lot of fun in this one. I'm looking forward.
Sure.
And to everyone that's watching, I want to just say that I appreciate the fact that you have come across and invited me onto your podcast because you also know that your audience needs to hear these things. I think I want to say thank you for having me and also keep it going, man.
Okay. Yeah.